It's the new OGs. The new OGs is a State Madison Entertainment production and is brought to you by Solar Masters. Look, Illinois is changing how people get their electricity, and Solar Masters is helping homeowners in Illinois take advantage of a program that lets them get solar power at no cost. If you're a single-family homeowner in the state of Illinois, you can lower your electric bill, raise the value of your property, and you can do something good for the environment without paying a single dollar out of your pocket to do so. In fact, not only can Solar Masters only work with you if they can save you money, Solar Masters will actually award you a $500 cash card for going solar in 2023. Solar Masters is a Black-owned company working with North American-based solar panel makers who have over 30 years of solar panel experience, and they even have a referral program that pays out a minimum of $250 per referral. So head over to www.gosolarmasters.com.
Hey, Bobby.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Bobby. Hey, you know
Yeah.
what? I'm not going to do the bit anymore.
Okay.
We've been doing the bit for a long time. I'm not going to do the bit this time.
10 years.
Because I just want to check one last time though.
All right.
It's $500. They get $500 back.
If you go solar,
If
yeah.
you go solar. And it doesn't cost them any money.
No, nothing out of pocket. Like, there's no charge to do that. They handle all the permitting. They handle everything for you. So basically, you just sign some paperwork, and then you get this lower bill.
Man, that's better than this T-shirt.
Wait, let me see that T-shirt again. Eat pussy, it's vegan. Well, if you're trying to get a little meat off of your bill, go ahead and go to www.gosolarmasters.com and get in touch for a free consultation or refer to somebody that you know. The new OGs is also brought to you by the Save Toby Jones Tour. Catch Rob Hines, our co-host, famously known as Toby Jones from Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage, as he embarks on his brand new tour all across the country, currently rolling through the Chicagoland area. What is going on, fellas? How are we doing? We are back here with another great episode.
That's
Mr. Excel, Eat Pussy, it's vegan. How's it going?
It is going super duper groovy, man. Yeah, man. Got a good week. Got a good week of shows coming up. Just wrote some pretty funny new material that we were talking about offline before we started. And I always get excited when I have a great new bit. Great new bits make my dick hard, and I think I got one that I can run.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the ways you could go about doing that. It's nice. It's nice to have one. Nice to have a way come out of nowhere and just be like, oh, I guess this also works. This is a thing I could do. I could pull out yearbooks from high school, or I could just write a new bit. What a great idea!
There you go.
You got stuff coming up?
Yeah, man. Sunday, so day after the show, Sunday I'm at Lincoln Lodge at 6:00 on Ronnie Ray's show, and Tuesday, that's the 7th, March 7th, I'm at Beat Kitchen for Chicago Underground. So that's going to be dope. Yeah, that's my first time back there since like 2018. I haven't done that show in a long time, so I'm excited to come back and do that show. Yeah.
Rob, what about you, man? How's it going? I know you got the Toby Jones tour going on. You're in Chicago right now.
I am.
You're at Laugh Factory tonight. I know that.
Laugh Factory. Yes, I am. I'm at the Laugh Factory. And Saturday, Friday, I'm doing a private gig of some sort. No, Saturday I'm doing Marco's joint at Mi Gardita, in Loves Park. It's his birthday show. So come on down.
Nice. That's a hot one.
You dig? Yes. Yeah. So we're gonna do that, man. I love that little couple. And then after that, on Sunday, I'm doing a private show for a bunch of karate dudes, right? And if they don't pay me, I
don't suck.
They ain't got the money. I'm like, all right, I'll holler. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you gotta be careful, man. There's not a lot of grief you can give those guys.
None at all. No, sir.
No. But I mean, you could come with gun dudes, because one thing that karate is not stronger than is bullets. You can do all that kicking shit, but can you kick from 30 feet away, my nigga?
I bet ain't none of them niggas the last dragon. So.
They might be the last dragon. Like, and then after that, no more dragons. It's gonna be.
It's all it takes you to. All you gotta do.
You know why there's no more dragons? They all try to do that catch a bullet shit.
The whole thing about there being a last dragon is that there ain't any other ones. You know what I'm saying? That's the real fucked up shit about being the last one, is that all the rest of them is gone. It's just you now, dog. The odds of there being like a second dragon again when there's down to one dragon crazy low because there's some physics involved, some chemistry, biology, all kinds of things that you need.
The Pantheon is no longer used for what it once was.
No, it ain't happening that way. I just some stuff that we got coming up. I'm also on a Marcos Lara show on March 8th, and then March 14th. I've got a show by Man XL here. We got Sneaky Links back at the Hollywood Palms. That show's getting better. The setup that we have in there is getting sharper every time that we do it. The fan that we sold out the last show, it was fucking amazing. I think we had like 10 tickets before our last recording. We sold those out.
We had people literally upset that they couldn't come to our show. That's how dope that was, because people were coming to the movie theater and finding out that there was a comedy show going on, and they were like, "Wait, what? You could do that here?" So that felt good.
Yeah.
That felt.
And we had to turn down people that are looking for tickets on the day of, which I hate having to turn people down. But at the same time, it's nice to be in a position where you can say, we don't have any more tickets. I'm sorry. Please catch the next show. Here's some money off of that. So that felt pretty good. Why don't we jump on into some shit that we got going on with no more delay, because we only want to stick around here for about an hour or so and make this thing pop. The first thing we want to talk about is what's going on in the country, America the Beautiful. We're going to kick it off with a little segment on that. There was a train derailment since I think that happened before the last time we were on the air. I don't even remember. I think so. Maybe it just had happened.
It's been almost a month. It only started having conversations about it like 2 weeks ago in the news. I mean. But I think the derailment's almost 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Yeah, they're now starting to get down to some of the stuff that's been going on with it, along with some of the results that are happening with some of the people. There was a recent clip that came out of a gentleman who had suffered some effects from whatever was going on there. And we're going to play a little bit of this. This guy who claims he sounds like Mickey Mouse now, and you can hear this for yourself and kind of see what you think. So
I work in East Palestine at Rural Arena, outside with cars and water, and it's just been like this ever since the train blew up.
It's crazy. What does your voice really sound like, Wade? I know you can't tell us, but is it like that? You sound like Michael Jackson normally?
Lately, I sound like Mickey Mouse.
Yep.
But
he's got a deep, raspy voice normally.
Other than that, I just go and get tested and get checked out.
Well, what are they telling you?
My doctor says I most definitely have the chemicals in me. And,
but he has to find a toxologist to get properly...
They keep telling me to come up here, but nobody has nothing.
When you say nobody has anything, like there are no doctors in town to be able to help you?
No. That's what they tell me. I gotta make a phone call and schedule an appointment with somebody.
Okay. But are you going to do that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Is it just affecting your voice, Wade, or are you feeling it in other areas of your body?
My chest hurts at nighttime. It feels like I'm drowning a little.
He wakes up every morning.
I have a hard time breathing. Yeah. I cough up phlegm a lot. Yeah. But other than that, like.
And were you in pretty good health, Wade, up until now?
Yeah.
Only a 40-year-old man. That's not very old.
No. But now I'm just waiting around.
Yeah, that sounds crazy, man. That is his voice obviously did not sound like that. I mean, I'd be surprised if his voice sounded like that before. That's obviously not a bit. This man has been fucked up by this.
Yeah, they will test and see they might have some chemicals. Man, you got some chemicals, fam.
He said, no. He said his doctor told him he most definitely has some chemicals.
Yeah, you got some chemicals, man. Like that's so wild, dude. Like that. It's like the odds. Do you think it's just his voice, or do you think it's a rapper dude? It's just slow.
No, so look, welcome to being black, my man.
Hey, dude, let me tell you how cold is it Norfolk Southern. I almost said Burlington Northern.
Yeah.
Sorry, bro. Sorry, BN. Norfolk Southern. This is how cold these motherfuckers was. The initial offer was like $1,000, not per person, to the city. They took $1,000 to the city, like, here, bam, right? Then they took it up to like another ridiculously low number.
Dude, that don't even pay for one railroad tie, my G. That's gonna.
Yeah.
You can't buy the mallet to pound in a railroad tie for that money, dog.
The initial offer was so ridiculously, like, dastardly. Like, I don't know, like, what kind of laws or what kind of things that they have that back them up, but they have way too much confidence for a group of people who just spewed horrible chemicals over like
They
white
run that
people.
shit, dog. They run that shit. They own all that shit. That's what Pete Buttigieg was talking about. He's like, I don't control half the shit that's going on. This is not even like this isn't federal shit. This is a lot of shit is privately owned track and shit. Like they have been running that shit down. I mean, we've seen train tracks. All them shits look fucked up. I just assume that somehow like trains are so dope it just don't make no difference. I don't, you know what I mean? I'm just like, I guess, I mean, they've been having, like in my head, I'm like, trains been around for a long time. They couldn't always be so dope at making tracks. Maybe trains just real good on run on shitty tracks. When the reality is like, nah, at some point, this is going to flip over and just burn up a town.
So here's what's fucked up about this on multiple levels, Bobby. And perhaps maybe there's a chance that some of this money from the Infrastructure Act that they passed last year might help fix this in some degree, but all of it was preventable. I think I sent you a message last week. The Biden administration, like the person from the EPA, like came out. It's like, we call these accidents, but these are not accidents because all of this is preventable. This didn't have to happen. There's a type of braking system that they could put on the trains that would have prevented this shit from being this bad or happening at all. And they don't do it because it's too expensive to them to do it. And
I mean, after they got to pay $1,000 for you poisoning them, yeah, that's too much money.
Yeah, like these motherfuckers are Mr. Burns, man.
Look, the CEO has a 17th house to buy. Why are you trying to fucking shit up with a goddamn train break,
like
my nigga?
Straight up Mr. Burns. Unleash the hounds.
Yeah, like, this guy's. I mean, come on.
Give a fuck.
He's got to pay off his 40th mistress. You think he's trying to fuck around and put a brake on a train for who? Some people in a state that he could just blow the fuck up? Like,
did this nigga not just say Mr. Burns? Like, that is so funny.
What's funny is when you see these motherfuckers that run this shit, you're like, holy fuck.
The level of and here's what's even crazier is there was actually legislation the Obama had put in legislation that would have made that shit mandatory. And thanks, guess Obama. Guess who turned basically canceled that shit?
A real president.
He was the real president. Trump. Yeah. Trump canceled it in 2018 because he wanted to roll back restrictions and it's going to save a lot of money and blah, blah, blah. And then this motherfucker has the nerve to go there and hand out water to the people and shit. And talk about whatever.
Hey, look, I know I fucked your town up. Here's a. I mean, that's not. I mean, that's like $1,000. You know what I'm saying? It's the same shit. It's not different. It's the same shit.
Collectively,
that's like when he went down to Puerto Rico and was jump shooting paper towels at niggas.
I wouldn't doubt if not, because Trump.
That's the most athletic that motherfucker had. That's the most athletic that nigga has ever looked. Was when he was jump shooting in paper towel. When he was fucking that his form was the only thing righteous about him. That's the only thing righteous about Trump is his form.
That was fucked up.
Make sure mechanical. Make sure this is in the episode. I predict that we're going to find out that Norfolk Southern paid for that nigga to go there to be there because he's hilarious. A distraction. Because here's the thing. Think about it. Do you really think Donald Trump went on his own, even as a campaigner? Do you think he went on his own?
I mean, he already has not on his own money. Not on his own money for sure.
I promise you, we're gonna find out one day that Norfolk Southern somehow, some way paid for that nigga to go there.
Speaking of Trump, there is a trial going on right now with Fox News over a lawsuit dealing with them lying essentially about about everything going on with the election, which then led to an insurrection, surprisingly enough, in which people got killed. Which that is the one part they're not actually talking about. They're talking about the fact that these guys lied and misled, American citizens and got them all mad. Now these people are like hardcore believe the election was stolen. The thing they're not really talking about in this is that like what the actual result was that people stormed the Capitol, and this lady that the same people will raise up as a martyr, Ashley Babbitt, like she did because them people lied to you on TV, y'all. Them people told you fibs on TV and led you to believe some bullshit.
And the people who call Ashley Babbitt a martyr, I would just like to ask them, the Congress is the people's house, right? Where the Capitol is the people's house. So what would you do if somebody came to your house and was banging on the window trying to get in and you the one to get in? How would you handle it, Mr. Second Amendment nation? Mr. Second Amendment Nation.
Well, you know, if Ashley Babbitt was black, they'd have been fine with that shit. They wouldn't have said a goddamn word.
She wouldn't have got up the stairs.
Nah. Rupert Murdoch. The crazy thing, the crazy point in this though is that Fox, the people that work at Fox, like Hannity and Tucker Carlson and all these people, knew what the fuck was up the whole time. They knew the whole time that this was bullshit. Sidney Powell, it turned out that her claim about election fraud. Did y'all hear this? Sidney Powell's claim of election fraud came from a lady who claimed that she was a decapitated time traveler from the future, who could also be a ghost. And Sidney Powell got all the way on television with that shit. And here we are going out doing minutes of time at a night and can't get on TV.
Brought to you by UCB Improv.
So improv, they tell you, your justification don't need to make sense. It just need to be a justification, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Sidney Powell's source was someone who claimed they were a time traveler from the future who was also potentially a decapitated ghost. And somehow that lady got on TV.
For the audience, since I think Rob will catch Rob up. I know he knows who she is, but Sidney Powell is one of Trump's lawyers that was constantly on air on TV on Fox and OEN and all those motherfuckers, or OAN, constantly talking about Dominion voting machines and how shitty they were and how they were that basically was election fraud. And that
she was the one who floated the rumor that the Dominion had been it was done for Hugo Chavez down in Venezuela. They had she created all these lies essentially, and these people at Fox behind the scenes were all like, yeah, this bitch is crazy. And then on TV they're like, Sidney Powell, ladies and gentlemen, and then they just let her say crazy shit and then tell people like, you should, like Tucker Carlson on TV just be like, you should be mad, you should be outraged. You know what I mean? Like,
man, that's a pretty good Tucker Carlson, man. That's a scary good Tucker Carlson. Don't do that again, Bobby. I don't like that. I don't like it. I don't like it when you do Tucker.
My mama white.
No, but the crazy shit is like, they didn't just, it's one thing if they let her rock and didn't strongly endorse it, but they let her rock and was like leaning into the shit and wholeheartedly
putting her on TV.
Any of it.
They kept putting her on TV.
This is all Reagan's fault. This is all Ronald Reagan's fault. When you stop the fairness doctrine, everything in my lifetime that has happened horrible all connects to Ronald Reagan. When he was telling, what in essence he did was he put capitalism on steroids. He gave them every opportunity not to regulate anything. You can do what you want to do, act how you want to act. It's your business, because people was only getting 30 times what their employees were getting, and that just wasn't enough.
I mean, that's why they raised up Reagan as a great president so much, is because he opened that door. And he opened the door for Fox News. I mean, he really set the stage for that to be a thing in the first place. And even Rupert Murdoch is admitting that, like, the thing that led his decision making was green and not anything else, right? I mean, that's what made him be what he was trying to be as far as that's concerned.
It's fucked up. Even though he shits on his entire audience when he says that, he shits on his entire audience because he leads his audience to believe that he is pro-red. That he's all about red. He's saying he doesn't give a fuck about that. He only gives a fuck about the green. And to that, and then to basically openly admit that his anchors were all lying.
He didn't say it like that, though. The money. He said it really colorfully. I guess they bought in. What? What?
The shit is but here's the thing that's fucked up is none of the people who watch those networks are going to know about it, because those networks are obviously never going to. Fox is never going to cover the story of Fox is fucking losing a lawsuit.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to have to when they have to turn the lights out.
In some other news, the debt forgiveness issue has finally gotten to the Supreme Court. It has been an arguable thing. There's been a lot of concern over the fact that a very conservative Supreme Court was potentially going to cut off this Biden plan. A new story is kind of emerging today that it seems like that has shifted, basically because the attorneys that are trying to support Biden's cause are actually prepared. And surprise, surprise, the ones that are trying to stop that cause are not. Here's a reason why, is because this would have just gone ahead had not someone filed a lawsuit. And so someone had to file a lawsuit saying they didn't like the idea this was happening, and those people are idiots. And so when those people go to court to try and argue their shit,
their entire premise is moronic. They have a 2-point premise. Their first point, they have 2 reasons why it's moronic. One, it's sponsored by a state. It's from I can't remember what state. I think Texas is a state, right? They have no cause because the state. It's a federal decision. The state's not losing any money, so there's no reason. They have no reason to care about this. For the first thing, and the second point is their main argument is it's not fair to the people who paid their loans.
Right. Yeah. And essentially what they're saying is that this attorney who spoke today, I think that I don't know how to pronounce the name, but I'll give it a shot. It's Prelagar. She was just instrumental. Solicitor General Elizabeth Prelagar essentially just came in, and somebody said, I guess an expert said it was like the difference between a star quarterback and 2 Tiddlywinks players. So he's
like Amy Coney Barrett was making liberal points.
Like you can't you know what I mean? Like there's a certain level, like you can be as conservative as you want, but if somebody shows up and is just crushing shit like Godzilla, and then you got somebody came out here trying to knock Godzilla down with a ping pong paddle, you know what I'm saying? Like you just go.
It was like he was in there stating facts. And, well, you don't have standing because X, Y, Z, and then the dude returned with "Stop the steal." You wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for women getting advancements.
Yes, that's essentially what the fuck is happening.
Oh my God. Hey, let me just I'm gonna come here on camera one. Look at me, white people. Listen to me, white people. We are not your problem. Look around you. Stop being stupid. We are not your problem.
I mean, everybody wants to talk about how we only make up 13%. So like maybe y'all should be checking somebody else for some issues. Fuck do we do? We got 13%, my nigga. That's not, out of 100, that still leaves 87. That's a lot of percents for everybody else to be fucking some shit up. We do fuck some shit up on our own though. Barrington Martin II, who is an idiot. He's the host of the Barrington Report. He was a congressional candidate for Georgia. He lost, thank goodness. He is a brother who had a tweet the other day that said, we hear about all of the horrors of slavery. I'm going to put this up. We hear about all of the horrors of slavery, automatically assuming that all slave owners were hateful, vengeful, and sought to inflict their slaves with fear. But it's funny, we never hear about those other slave owners who led with kindness and wanted their slaves to be in the best shape, mentally as well as physically. Why do you think that is? So I'm going to ask you, Rob, why do you think we never get to hear about all the cool slave owners?
Because it only happened at Christmas time. Because Santa Claus. That's why. Because all of it. Because it is like that cat that just keep walking past and shit in the Matrix. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about? If I would have tweeted back to him, it would just be 2 words. Nigga, please.
This is why you people shouldn't speak in absolutes, because people say, there's never a reason for black on black violence. And I'm like, no, because right here seems like a real valid reason. Like it feels like Harriet would have shot this motherfucker.
hey, he hanging out with the Easter Bunny and the good slave owners.
Let me tell you something. This nigga would have never got close enough to Harriet. Okay, this nigga would have never got close to the people around Harriet. You think they was letting people close to Harriet? Unless you was in a circle, you was not close to Harriet. That was not a thing that happened. You could never get this nigga could never get that close.
Miss Tubman, we can't free this nigga. Leave him here.
Yeah, you ain't never getting that close. Here's the thing. Here's why you never hear about the slave owners who led with kindness. Is because they're still fucking slave owners, dog.
The absurdity.
You never hear about the rapists that use lube.
Or who wear a condom, or who wear a condom. You never hear about the domestic abusers who apply aloe afterwards. You never
hear about those dudes.
I am so sorry I had to fuck you up, baby.
Yeah. Like, here's the thing. If I can't leave your crib at the end of the day and go back to my crib, there is no version of kind that you are. You are not, there's no, you know what I mean? Am I free to leave? No, then you're not kind. That's a wrap right there. You go keep me from leaving? Well, then kind is out of the question for you, sir. I don't care if you do let me have gym time every day. That is not enough. That ain't gonna cut it, dog. I gotta be the fuck out every once in a while.
The mental gymnastics for a black man to look at slavery and to ever even faction that there was any type of kindness.
Yeah.
You can respond to this? Really?
My real question is,
that shit made me feel vile, like sick inside when I read it.
My real question is, what is the purpose of this? Why is this black man making a concerted effort to try and like to justify, to like tone up the image of like some white people who were slave owners? For what purpose would someone seek to do this?
Hey man,
because it feels like it's a sincere question because I don't get it. I don't understand like what the gain is. Like, what's
because the line is shorter if you put on the red team's clothes. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if I go out tomorrow and start talking that same silly ass shit, I probably make a whole lot of money because I can talk real pretty and I can make it look nice and I can get them to pay me. And
they give you a show on Fox, nigga.
You see what I'm saying? So that's why you would do it. Capitalism. If there is nothing in this country more important than making money, and that's exactly what he's gonna do with that shit. Look at how many times people have retweeted it. And how many likes this ridiculous shit has.
That's the crazy part, is the number of likes that shit has. That shit is insane.
How many likes does it have?
Right now it's trending at 281. You got 281 people that believe that's the truth.
Oh my God. I thought it was like 281,000. It's
no.
281.
That's too many. This shit is too stupid for 281 people to say yes to. That's what I mean. It's not blowing the fuck up, but it's still stupid. Like, how could you find 281 more people in your circle that feel the same? You need to change your circle.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't. Yeah. No, he doesn't. We need to find those 281 motherfuckers and keep an eye on them.
Fuck them up.
Well, I wasn't gonna say that.
Harry over there by their house.
We still plan on showing this to people, right?
Bring them to me. I've got it. Yeah, it's just crazy cooning. And considering this is the case, you know, his fellow statesperson, Marjorie Greene, I refuse to give her the dignity of the three names. Marjorie Greene is out here calling for Madge Greene is out here calling for a national divorce, which essentially, you know, it sounds like someone is trying to reinstitute slavery and genocide, to be honest with you. Like, she's trying to lock the doors on red states. You know what I mean? She wants to separate the U.S. by red states and blue states. That's what she said.
But here's the thing. She has like this imagination of, I do know that there are a lot of people who leave blue states to go to red states when they retire, when they get older in life, because of taxes, and it's cheaper. And the reason why it's cheaper to live in red states is because they're all shit.
They all count on the federal government to make them that shitty. The federal government is holding them up.
Like, here's the thing. I like visiting the South. I very much love the South. I have a lot of relatives and stuff in the South. But like, every time I think about living in the South, I just think about like just little small inconveniences. Like, oh shit, they don't actually have fast internet down there. And like, not everywhere. Obviously, Atlanta, you know, Charleston, big centers like that. But y'all know goddamn well, as soon as you get to one of them little smaller counties, away, you know, more than an hour away from the city, shit is fucking Mayberry.
Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, I fucks with Atlanta. I would fucks with Miami.
I would
fucks with a couple spots in North Carolina, like Raleigh, Durham, and shit like that. Virginia, Charlotte's I fuck around. I stuck around. Yeah, Charlotte. I would fuck around with Virginia, like Virginia Beach and shit like that. Hampton. Outside of that, I ain't eating nothing from the South. They could fucking. Here's what I think should happen.
New Orleans. You say New Orleans?
Oh, New Orleans. Yeah. I need New Orleans. Okay, but here's what I think they should do. I think that they should go ahead and take fucking Alabama or some shit. They gotta take Alabama. Why don't you just take Alabama? And why don't you just go ahead and divorce that motherfucker from the rest of the country? And let's just see how the fuck y'all do. Well, this divorce you from the country means you don't get no financial aid you don't get no federal aid from these fucking, Pritzker, they just upgraded Illinois again, by the way. Illinois got credit upgraded again. Let me see if I can pull up the stat. Illinois got credit upgraded to fucking their 7th credit upgrade in less than 2 years. So Go ahead, bitch. Leave. Take all your broke ass states. Y'all, you need corn subsidies, which you can't fucking get none of. You like, what are you gonna do? You don't want to make, you don't like fucking making, you don't like drugs, so you can't grow no weed down there. Like, you don't want to let nobody have all you doing is making a bunch of white fucking inbred ass people. Good luck. Yeah, go ahead and break off a little bit. See what happens. Like, you're gonna have to go to war because you ain't got no money. Every time some bullshit happens, they don't want to fuck with nobody. Who's playing football for y'all?
I would love to do shows in the South, guys. I'm just telling jokes about this shit.
What athletic people y'all gonna produce? What league are you gonna get? The NBA pulling out. The NBA is out, my nigga. You think the NBA coming down there? You gonna produce? Like, I want to see the Marjorie Taylor Greene BA. That's what I want to see. What league y'all got?
Dude, that's the scariest shit about because actually when you started this shit, I got mad a little bit because technically speaking, I'm not gonna get to the whole thing. You guys could look up this shit. I'm talking to the audience. You can look this shit up on your own. But there was at one point there was a discussion of giving freed men and women a portion of America to have their own space, and Alabama and Georgia were ours. Well, Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina would have been ours. And I think Florida too. But I was like, it's ridiculous and that they're never going to give us Florida. But Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina, I take that shit. We got a coast. I take that shit. That shit
could be what get Alabama either. They're gonna make sure you landlocked, and they're gonna put you someplace where there's a lot of rocks where you can't grow shit.
That was the actual conversation at one point. It just, obviously none of that shit happened. I still think that's the craziest shit. When you look at racism in this country versus racism in other places, somebody posted some graphics of like shit that was allowed, like where you're allowed to fly, Nazi member shit and where you're not. And like basically all of Europe, you are not, you can't fly Nazi shit nowhere. That shit is a wrap, right? So there's none of that you can do. But like over here, you can do any of that shit. You can do all that shit all day. And part of that is free speech, and that's important. But the thing is bigger than that. It's kind of the message. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm telling you, when the Nazis, when that shit was over, they still hunt them motherfuckers. They got whole shows about hunting Nazis. And when slavery was ended, them niggas went back to the plantation and just started up again. Yeah. And that's like that. You're gonna get a different result, dog. I'm just gonna tell you.
They got reparations.
If they had taken all them slave owner and plantation owners who had done all that shit and put their heads on pikes at the Mason-Dixon line, it was like, this is how we go from here on out, y'all. That shit would have been a wrap, and we probably wouldn't be talking about race today. And instead, we're still doing this.
Why would you do it to your brother? Why would you do that to your brother? Why? What reason? I want you to get healthy as soon as I can. Now, look, because you started this shit, I'm going to make sure everybody around there, down there, be broke forever. Like, y'all ain't going to never have nothing. Like, we'll let y'all manufacture a few things, but it ain't going to be like slavery was, because you had the nuts to decide to cut everything off to keep them. Okay, well, this is what you're going to have now. Walmart. There you go. Deal with that. And the other thing that's really interesting to me about, well, let me just go back to the last thing. That dude that asked that question about why we ain't hearing about the good slaves, I wrote to him, was the slave owners that led with love? I was like, was the rape led with love also? I'm just curious. The thing is, these places are damaged. They are so damaged. Like they are so damaged. I love the South. Like my family is from the Delta of Mississippi. But there is so much one-sidedness that they squeeze every bit of funding to themselves and no one does anything.
You guys say you love the South, but what you love are your relatives who are in the South and your time spent with them. There's like the rest of it is racism.
Listen,
the rest of it is racism and giant insects.
Dude, hold on a second. There's a reason why giant insects are there. Nigga, you can go out on the porch and pick a peach. You understand? Like for me, a dude that live around concrete, trees and shit are cool. If I can look out on the front porch and you can hear corn grow. You follow what I'm saying? It sounds like popcorn. This is shit that I learned from being down there. And so
my family had a 200-acre farm in Southern Illinois that grew corn and soybeans. We didn't have to go to fucking Giant Bugville for it. You know what I'm saying?
All I'm saying is if you haven't been there, you don't understand it. I've
been there. I'm just saying
every bit of it.
Here's the thing for me is the racism was just too big for me. The level of racism trumps it by too much. You know what I mean?
Don't get me wrong. I don't currently live there.
Right.
But I'm just saying that there is a charm about the politeness on the top of all the hate that's on the bottom. And it's even an interesting study. It's interesting to watch. Really, you think that's important? Well, bless your heart. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I feel about it. That's
Yeah. Staying in the South, down in Florida, Ron DeSantis has closed down diversity offices for colleges. It is Mr. The Republican governor who loves small government, who has recently taken over Disney World or Disneyland or whatever the fuck is down there, and is now taken over the whole college system. He installed his own board of trustees there to run colleges. They've closed off all their diversity and inclusion programs. They're ending gender studies in Florida. So studying gender at all is going to be out the window as a major. So the idea of even studying who we are as people is going to be gone, as well as any critical race theory and things like that, which is actually necessary for higher levels of education. So if you're trying to go into law, that's still something you should be studying as you're moving forward. But he's eliminating all that stuff. I don't know, man. It's just it feels like a bad start to a movie. You know what I'm saying?
So here's the thing. I'm not. It's fucked up for Florida, but Florida keeps voting the motherfucker in, so I don't know what to do about it. I mean,
right.
I don't know how to help them. Help us help you, motherfucker.
Right.
But I'm not worried about him nationally. At least not him winning the presidency. They think he's gonna be the next Trump, whatever like that. I don't think anything about what he does plays anywhere outside of their pocket. There's other pockets. That place in Ohio where Trump went and gave them water. They're probably gonna vote for DeSantis, dumbass.
Yeah, Virginia, where Glenn Youngkin is.
He doesn't have the Trump appeal of the celebrity that everybody kind of. If you didn't give a fuck about the Barack Obama thing if you didn't give a fuck about the birther thing with Obama, you probably still thought Trump was a pretty funny, cool guy.
Yeah.
There was a lot of white people who just thought that because they weren't engaged in the shit and they didn't know what was going on. And then later on they backed off. But early on they were like, oh yeah, he's what's the big deal? Nigga, are you listening to this motherfucker? Yeah. No, I'm not. It's Trump, though.
Yep.
To me, there's a reason why it took us so long to respond when we thought about it. It is a different kind of horrible that we are coming. And think about for our age group, we didn't see a whole lot of white only signs. You know what I mean? We didn't get to see the actual nuts and bolts of America. So it's lulled us into this false sense of security. But this dude is going to do well. Because the only requirement it has for you at this point for half the country is you gotta hate niggas, and he has made it obvious, or at least hate other anything that ain't white, male, or cis.
Oh, okay. I don't disagree with you on any of that. I agree with you 100% on all that. However, Biden is there's a slight little hustle that's happening right now that everybody's the employment and all that shit's super high. One of the reasons employment is super high is because we keep sending billions of dollars in aid to Ukraine. Well, all that money we sent to Ukraine, you know what they buy with it? Bullets and bombs made in America. I just watched this thing. They can't even keep up with the amount of ammunition that these motherfuckers is buying. That's how they're buying more ammunition than they can fucking make.
And it's curious that it came right after we left Afghanistan.
Wait. Hold on. What?
I'm sorry. To me, I just want to fit this in there because it fits in that piece. it's curious how this all happened right after they left Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm. The timing is
mwah. Oh yeah. Yeah, there's never a stoppage to the war, man. The war machine has to keep going because the people that like the companies that manufacture the guns and make all that shit happen, they got to figure out how to stay in business. How are you gonna keep making? If you a gun manufacturer, you make bullets, like bullets. It's not like they're gonna expire next week. The shit, you know what I mean? Like if you ain't got no war, the bullet's just gonna be sitting there waiting for the next war to happen. You know what I mean? If you keep the gun sharp. The guns are going, it's not like eggs. You know what I mean? Like the gun's still gonna be good 2 years from now. There's no expiration date on the gun. So if you don't get a reason to use them motherfuckers and buy more, well, what the fuck? Right? So the gun makers got to find something.
Prices are stable. They're not dropping, but they're not going up like they were before. I just went to the grocery store. I literally, right before we start filming this, I just went to the grocery store, and I'm pretty happy with what I spent for the amount of shit I got. Like I was looking at prices on shit like, oh wow, that's back to what I'm used to paying for that. You know, whatever. Example, I paid $3.60 for raisin bread. That's like $1 cheaper than I've been paying for the last year at least.
Chicken's starting to get legit again, price wise.
Yeah.
Starting
eggs.
to move.
I bought 18 eggs for like $2.50.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. At you know, so yeah, so like that. So my point is, as long as this shit is like this, nobody really gives a fuck how much money we give Ukraine. Like the number sounds bad, but as long as motherfuckers have jobs and the economy is producing jobs every fucking month, and inflation doesn't do the dumb shit that it was doing after the pandemic, there's no reason to not re-elect Joe Biden other than that he's 90.
Yeah, that's the only thing he's still hollering around. Speaking of elections, there was one in Chicago yesterday on Tuesday. That was the original primaries essentially for the mayoral election, all the aldermanic elections and everything else going on. In a first time in 40-year occurrence, after one term, Lori Lightfoot is out. She did not make the runoff. It's going to be Paul Vallis and Brandon Johnson, who are going to be in the runoff here for the mayor of Chicago.
Here's the thing. I told Bobby that I thought Lori Lightfoot was panicking like day or two before the election. Because like three things happened that I noticed. One, she added Brandon Johnson to her attack ad. She had attack ads this entire time about Chewy Garcia, but nobody else. Like it was just about her shit and Chewy Garcia. And then she had the same ad, but then she like tacked it on this thing. Also, Brandon Johnson's bad too.
She worried.
Shit. I was like, oh,
battery's not included.
I happen to be listening to Joan Esposito's legendary Chicagoland news anchor woman. She has a midday radio show, and she was on her show. She was frantic because she had like a whole show set up, and Lori Lightfoot's office called her like right before her show began. It was like, Lori's going to come on and do an interview. And to have heard it, I would think it was like last Thursday or Friday. If you go back, I think on the website, you can listen to it. Just listen to the beginning, first 5-10 minutes. Joan Esposito you can tell she's like shocked as fuck. Like she doesn't know what to do. This is a news anchor legend. She's right. Fucking dealt with shit before. That's how out of the blue the call was. It was just like randomly as fuck, like, oh shit, she's calling in the show. She was calling in like it was a sports talk show or something like that. I want to talk about the game last night. And that's not something that an incumbent does if they're sitting in a good position in the polls of less than a week before the election.
Yeah,
and I saw Brandon Johnson shit everywhere in the city. Everywhere I go, I saw Brandon Johnson shit.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about that for a while.
Listen, the two things that you can count on in an election is going to be a good-looking dude and a white dude. Now, if you can always count on those two things happening, and you got both in this one. Let me tell you something. That nigga look like Maurice Chestnut. He finna fuck around and be y'all new mayor. He gonna go out, slang enough dang-a-lang, and show some people some dick prints and wear some gray sweatpants. And if the police don't win, he gonna win.
Well, that's what it's really come down to, because Brandon Johnson is definitely the more progressive of the candidates that were out there. running for it. He was more progressive than Chewy or Willie Wilson or all those guys. And Vallis is to the right of where Lightfoot is. And people hated Lightfoot because she was conservative. So, you know what I mean? Like, she got a pass because she was a gay black woman and they wanted her instead of Preckwinkle. And that was the only way that she got in. And now they got this cat Vallis, who's a white dude who got cop kids and firefighter kids and shit, who's supposed to be a Democrat, and he'll this is the competition.
Here's a little something. You pick up things, Chicago politics and all that shit. Excuse me. Anybody who tells you that they're a lifelong Democrat in their ad is not a Democrat. Because if they're a lifelong Democrat, they don't have to say it. You knew
right.
them. Like they,
right.
Oh yeah, of course I know this guy. I know this Chicago. This is Chicago politics. I would know your name. I would have heard you doing liberal shit.
I'm pretty sure he said he was. Go ahead.
When you have to tell me in your ad that you're a lifelong Democrat, you're lying.
Right. There was something I heard. He said, I think in 2009, where he said, Vallis, I'm more of a Republican than a Democrat, during a 2009 sit down with conservative commentator Jeffrey Berkowitz.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, I'm not going to buy. I mean, how are you a lifelong Democrat? Which life? How long that life been going on?
Hey, this you in the multiverse, nigga?
If you get more than 33% turnout, it's going to be a nigga in office. I'm saying if you
that'd be great.
4% turnout, it's gonna be.
Well, they had 33 for this one, which is pretty standard for primaries. That was what happened during the last primary in 2019. That's not crazy. Ideally, it'll pick up for the actual election. There'll be a lot more talk going on when it gets down to it. For the runoff here, because the runoff is really going to determine who's going to be your mayor. So
this is one of those times where I'll be shocked if that brother don't win, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because this dude ain't been doing nothing but talking about the police.
Mm-hmm.
All Paul Vallis has been talking about the police.
The only thing the only thing that I'm concerned about is if Lightfoot sides with Vallis, which it doesn't make sense for her to do, but she might. If she sides with Vallis and half of her fucking people go, that puts him at like 45, and it's almost game over right there.
Yeah.
So she either needs to stay the fuck out of it or go ride with the brother. And I hope she goes and rides with the brother. I don't know. She doesn't have the credentials in my mind to make the courageous choice, but I hope she does. Because if she does, then it's lights out Paul Vallis. Yeah, the good-looking brother is gonna come through.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a great move.
Maurice.
In some not so happy Chicago news, Southside, the TV show, was canceled by HBO Max. After 3 seasons, 3 very funny, successful seasons. Really one of my favorite sitcoms that's been on TV in recent years. Not just because of the bias of having a bunch of my friends who've been on it and involved with it. It was actually a really hilarious show. My bias may have been a little bit Chicago-based because a lot of it was inside Chicago baseball, but it was so fucking good, man.
But
it's one of those things where
that's one of the things I thought was sorry about that. That's one of the things I thought was so brilliant about it was that it was inside Chicago baseball, but it was still funny. Like it was stuff I showed people who weren't Chicagoans and they still got it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was a big part of that.
For me, that was I loved the show from day one. When it took them a little while to get the second season out, I was still rewatching the first season and finding shit that I found even funnier than the first time I saw it. That guy, Bashir, is brilliant. I'm saying like him and the guy that plays the alderman, man, those are brilliant, man. Them cats, I'm saying like they not only do it shoots like it's a Chicago show. Like he walks into the space, dude. The way he makes television is the way that I want to make television. He walks into the space and he looks around and he starts blocking immediately. I need you to stay here. What's your line? And when he got to me, I was so shocked to watch him. I was like, it was like watching Jordan do the dunk from the. I'm just watching, dude. I'm like, oh my God, you're a god at this shit. And then he said something to me, and I go, huh? Dude, the man is amazing. The show is amazing. And dude, I would go back. Like if you show people that one cut of them standing in front of that movie theater selling popcorn, that is so Chicago. Like the hustle. That's what it's all about. And those two dudes was about the hustle. It was a great show. And I think that we should start a campaign of trying to bring it back because them dudes killed it.
I agree with you. We should. I think we should. I hope, and I'm pretty sure that they probably do. I mean, I don't know. I don't know them dudes, but I really hope that they have the ability, the rights to take it to another service, another streaming service, because the show was funny. I don't know if you guys. He has another show on independent film, IFC. He has a, and it's Sherman's show now. Sherman Showcase. Showcase.
Yep.
And if you have not seen it,
Helen was involved with that.
It was fucking amazing. It's fucking hilarious. It's basically like a half Soul Train spoof, half remember like they used to sell those classic CDs or classic album collections with all the hits and shit. It was like that, but it was like all the best clips from this show that was basically like a Soul Train-esque show. So, and all the characters of the show are mock-ups of actual R&B singers from like the 70s and shit. So it wasn't Stevie Wonder, it was like, Kid Marvel, and it's a blind nigga playing the piano, but
that's hilarious. That's a show people should definitely check out.
Dude, I'm gonna try to get on there. I didn't even know it exists. I'm gonna send on my resume because that dude, I just want to be in the man's presence again, and I can sing a little bit. So I'm gonna go in as like one of the spinners or some shit. I'll find.
Hey man, we can do something with it. Katie Pendergrass has a song. I don't love you anymore.
Yeah, let me.
That is a great song to spoof because if you listen to the song and the tempo, it has like this really fast not mambo, whatever tempo. That is the happiest get the fuck out of my life song that ever was ever made. Like I can see this in the background. He don't love you anymore. Like he's excited. It's just not worth it. He says this shit like, bitch, I give you your money, but I give your money, it's just not what it was. You gotta get the fuck out of here though. Like don't worry about the money. I still pay you every month and all that shit, but you gotta go. Like, it's such a great song. It's such a great song. We should spoof it.
Hey. At one point, he says literally, we can work it out. It's just not.
Bobby, if you haven't heard that song in a while, go back and listen to it with that mentality of how happy is this nigga about this breakup? Like, these songs are usually like, I'm tearing my heart apart. I'm gonna miss you, baby, but we can't be together. This nigga's like, no, he's into it.
Let's keep it moving. We're on to the next segment we're going to talk about, which is Generation Next. Right now, the NFL draft is something that's coming up. And I saw that ESPN had put this special out here about the advancement of women in NFL. It's International Women's History Month. They did a whole special about how all these women are being involved in the NFL now. And they got like 40 candidates that they're eyeing for potential front office positions and things like that, which I think is incredible. I think it's a great advancement. One of the things that I do struggle with though is that still ain't no niggas in the front office. Like these, like I'm all for it, but it seems like a weird thing. It seems this is one of the rare times where I feel like the pushing of one thing over another doesn't sit right with me. And I'm all for the inclusion of women in higher offices and in the front office and involved in management, owning teams and general managing and coaching. I think that's all great. But there have been Black men who've been involved in football for like playing and giving their body to this thing for as long as, we've been allowed to do so by the white people who've been running the sport the whole time. And this whole thing about inclusion has become a bigger thing. And all these men who've bled on the field and lost fingers and bitten off shit and have 74 concussions and shit can't get no shot to, coach. They had 5 head coaching opportunities. They filled one of them with a Black guy, and that guy replaced another Black guy that they fired, leaving a total of 3 out of 32.
This is my theory. It's because you did all that shit. Your head ain't right, and they don't want you to keep no job. They'd have fucked you up so bad. They're like, nope, not him. I know how many.
They should say so.
He was pretty sharp, but
and like I don't want them to be doing less things for the women that they're involving in the sport. But like, I would like to see where I saw a whole Black History Month just pass by, and I didn't catch the NFL's initiative for anything about Black people. No mental health shit. No, you know what happened during Black History Month? Eric Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator for one team, head coached by a white dude, pulled up stakes. So instead of taking the team that won the Super Bowl, by the way, that he was the offensive coordinator for, instead of getting a head coaching job during Black History Month, he ended up having to take the same job at another place for another white dude for a guy who took like decades to change the name of the team from a Native American slur.
And they don't have a quarterback.
This is progress.
They just cut their starting quarterback. They don't have a quarterback.
This is progress.
Much shit going on.
I don't want less for women. I'm just saying, like, where's? I mean, it seems like.
And also, I want to make a quick addendum to what you said, because although I would love to see some ex-players get in there, but Rob has a point about because shit, it is what it is. But fuck that. There are dozens of motherfuckers that weigh $150 on sidelines of NFL fields, calling plays and telling motherfuckers what to do. It's a gang of motherfuckers that never, white boys, they never fucking played a minute of football, or at least not past junior high, and they're coaching and executives and shit. Get some nerd niggas in there. Get some motherfucking smart ass brothers that could do the fucking sabermetric shit and figure out the, whatever.
Well,
yeah,
I'm not.
I mean,
maybe Deion Sanders or somebody like that. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Well, like, or a new nigga. You know what I mean? Like, it can't just be the same. This nigga can't be all the niggas. It gotta be. It can't be five Javantes, my nigga. You can't.
What I'm saying is, just like you said at the last job, a new motherfucker get that job. Get out to another nigga too. Shit.
Yeah. Also new in Generation Next is going to be artificial intelligence porn. I know you guys are familiar with Chat GPT, and they got the AI video stuff that's going on. There's a tweet that I've put up that people can see. It is a picture of some models. None of them are real. That's actually a thing. None of those are real models, which is interesting. And this guy claiming that by 2025, a bunch of OnlyFans accounts are going to be run by dudes behind these AI-powered ladies. Fellas?
So like, I could type in the exact thing that I want to see, and this AI can generate it.
So, I mean, there's already a way that you can. So, like, Chat GPT doesn't make pictures or logos, but you can get it to write code. So you can get, and DALL-E does, but you can get Chat GPT to write code for you that would then be able to translate into what you need to form AI models. Or you could do with DALL-E, where you could just provide descriptions that would fit, and it would create something similar to what you're looking for as well. There's also artificial intelligence video stuff that can create full video kits where you can literally, like, I was looking at one where I could literally type out a script, and it was for business to business stuff. You can literally type out a script, and then there's just this AI person that will literally just read your script word for word in a video for people.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, if you can do that, I mean, you can program you can program reading a script. It's not that hard. It's not too difficult. I don't know. I'm sure that there'll be plenty of women who will be fine competing with AI, but there'll definitely be some people who are out of a gig. But there'll be some dudes. I mean, if you're going to spend money on,
I'm going to let you know right now. If they get it down to the point where I can, like, literally just kind of type in blah, blah, blah and go, they got me. They take my money, please. You fucking. Do you know how much time I spend looking for specific shit? And I can just type that shit in and just add a variation or whatever I want to change it up to. Are you fucking kidding me? I am enthralled by this. This sounds like this is finally some shit coming out that I'm like, yeah, okay.
That sounds both great and very concerning. You know what I mean? Like, it sounds. Like, maybe not for you specifically, but for somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
I'm a weird space. I have a very weird space. I'm not going to have the conversation that you don't want to have. But I would rather they get weird with the Chat GPT than people.
Sure. I mean, yep. As long as that just stays on the computer and in your own crib, that's great. Here's some areas where AI has not turned out so great. There's been a show on Twitch that is supposed to be an AI version of Jerry Seinfeld. It's supposed to run automated, like based off of old Seinfeld episodes.
Nothing
forever. I think it's
called. Nothing forever. And the Jerry Seinfeld, it usually got shut down on Twitch because it, just like the Seinfeld show, it opens with the character doing his little, some comedy on stage, and it cuts the thing. Well, he opened with a whole bunch of transphobic shit.
And what's the deal with chicks with dicks?
Yeah. It was just a whole little rant, and then and literally to the point where Oprah was like, "Oh, nobody's laughing."
Wow. It was so bad people stopped laughing. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the AI character literally lost it on there. He was like, "What the fuck?" Larry Feinberg is the name of the character it's the AI character that's been generated. Yeah, he goes, oh God, I'm gonna read what was read here. Okay. This is what he says. This is not me, but he says there's like 50 people here and no one is laughing. Anyone have any suggestions? I'm thinking about doing a bit about how being transgender is actually a mental illness, or how all liberals are secretly gay and want to impose their will on everyone, or something about how transgender people are ruining the fabric of society, but no one is laughing. So I'm going to stop. Thanks for coming out tonight. See you next time. Where'd everybody go? Now, I would pay money to watch Jerry Seinfeld actually say that on stage, see what happened. But this is also a potential.
Do you see how that unfolded? It unfolded with a whole lot of fuck you shit, and then it rounded out to, oh, my bad.
And the expectation.
Hey, that shit's intelligent as fuck, because I've seen comics go. I've seen that happen. I've seen a comic do that in an open mic, have a fucking meltdown, fuck all of you, and then like by the end of the set, it's like, I'm sorry, I'm just going through some shit.
So like, the thing with AI is that essentially it's just a learning machine, right? So it absorbs everything. So if you say, I want you to, and you can put some parameters around it, but essentially it's going to absorb up all the information about the subject that you're trying to get to focus on, and you can word it into some things, but I feel like the Michael Richards shit is in there somewhere. You know what I mean?
So Bobby, so here's the thing. Like, that's just like there's a built-in bias in the system. I literally CBS Sunday Morning literally just had a whole thing on it yesterday, where they were taking AI that they were trying very, very hard for it to not be racist, and they tried to like do all the parameters to like keep it from being racist, and the AI figured out how to get around the parameters to be racist. But here's the thing, it's because all of the input that they put in, all the input that they put in. I'll give you an example that's not race, but how AIs learn. They took pictures of melanoma, like skin melanomas, and they took pictures of those and pictures of healthy skins, right? Healthy skin. And they were trying to train the AI to recognize melanoma. Well, one of the things that they figured out was that the AI started, any picture that had a ruler in it, they would automatically say melanoma, because melanoma pictures of melanomas always have like a little measuring thing next to it, so they get the size of the spot. So the AI took that to mean rulers are bad. If there's a ruler in the shot, you have, or any kind of measuring thing in the shot, you have cancer. So when you apply that to people and race, because the people putting the input have racist tendencies,
right?
Even when you try to frame it out, the AI is gonna be like, nah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, like even with
I know
melanoma,
what you're trying to tell.
Even with melanoma, they're like, oh, so the brown thing is bad. Got it. Anything brown, bad. If it's brown on skin, it's bad. And then and then it just kind of goes from there.
So they also had a deal where they found out, where the AI figured out how to make sure white men were first. It figured it out on its own, like the AI, because if you had a certain name like Chad or some shit, if your name was Chad and you did what is the shit where you rode a boat and shit?
Crew.
Yeah, where you did the other one.
Oh yes.
Where you throw
fly fishing.
No, the one with the stick and a ball that
Polo.
Lacrosse?
Not polo.
Lacrosse.
Lacrosse.
If you had lacrosse on your shit, they would put you at the top of the job of the nigga who they want to work for. Because most of them dudes play lacrosse. And everything that this thing knows about being good at shit has to do with white tendencies. So it's not finding all the white. I don't see no black faces with lacrosse.
I love how disconnected from white people Rob is. He doesn't know any of their shit. The thing with the stick and the ball, and the other thing in the boat with the other sticks, and then the thing with the ice.
Did you say there was a horse involved? There's no horse involved in lacrosse. I think you said something about a horse.
I don't remember saying anything about it.
Oh, okay. Maybe it could be me.
But Rob is also like, I don't know what they do with horses either. To be honest,
I don't give a fuck. Yeah, you know what? The only time I did watch golf is because they had Tiger Woods on TV. I'm like, let's see what this nigga could do.
Let's close out with some comedy news. Tom Brady. Yep, I'm talking about Tom Brady and comedy news. This is not going to be good. Tom Brady, who has a deal with Fox for like, I don't know, tens of millions of dollars to go call football games for Fox News.
$350 million for 10 years.
Jeez, he is obviously a real divorced man, because instead of going and doing a job that he should be doing to go ahead and pay, child support, what he's going to do is try stand-up comedy.
This is not going to get the Hall of Fame.
This is not going to get Giselle back, Tom. I'm just going to tell you right now. And most of these women at these mics are not going to fuck you either. They don't give a fuck if you are Tom Brady.
Okay.
No, Tom Brady might pull some ass.
Oh my goodness.
He's going to pull some ass.
Hey, here's the thing though. What if he's fucking hilarious? What if he's low key, sneaky?
No.
Like
what's his stuff gonna be about? Having to fly private?
I don't know.
Like, what are you gonna? So listen, I was getting in my Bentley the other day, and I don't know if you know about the Bentley, but they got the door. Don't you hate the suicide door on your car? And motherfuckers who took a goddamn $2.25 train to this nigga he's gonna get stabbed on a goddamn stage.
The only part of it that I don't like is the nigga think he's so nice that he can do it in a year. Like, oh, great. Like, wait, you gonna do something you've never done before? You just go like, in a year, you gonna have it down? No, nigga, get the fuck out of here.
Here's my whole thing. My whole thing is,
because what if he kills? Is he not gonna do the Fox?
He's not gonna kill, dude. Here's what he's gonna do. He's gonna find some idiot who has no fucking morals or standards to write for him, just like Piven did, and get him to pop off. He'll be good in a year if he hires motherfuckers. But that's it. And somebody who ain't got no type of morals, who ain't got no type, the same people who will bitch and moan about how they ain't got no spot, and these people ain't got to go to work every day because they got rich parents and put them through all this shit, can go be famous. Those are the same people who will easily take a check to go write for this motherfucker.
I don't think that they're wrong. I think capitalism.
Of course. No, you're not wrong. The problem is still capitalism, because a guy like Tom Brady can walk in, and if he wants to spend the money, will be instantly successful because he can go get taught how to be famous at doing that.
The other thing is that I think that's a little bit of hate there, Bobby. I probably am wrong, but
it's hate. No, you're not wrong. It's hate. Fuck this nigga. Go do Fox shit, motherfucker. Get the fuck out. What the fuck are you talking about? Listen, man, this is disrespectful, dog. This is fucking disrespectful. It's one thing if he was going to do that shit for a night on a roast or some shit. You know what I'm saying? This nigga's trying to take money that should be, it's not even money that should be going to me. This is money that could be going to somebody else who done put in too much time into some shit for this motherfucker to show up after all that. Nigga, if you don't sit your 7-ring ass down, you unrelatable motherfucker. Fuck you. Go sit the fuck down.
That's where it's radiating the most. Like if this was a weather map, this shit would be in burnt Sierra right here. This one spot. Like, motherfucker, you have too much.
Yeah. How you unrelatable motherfucker? You gotta be talking to middle America. You got helicoptered in. If you don't get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? And that's not. Listen, Chappelle's rich, but he ain't fucking Giselle Bundchen. You know what I mean? Like, he ain't fucking Giselle.
I mean, if that's your, to me that ain't that much of a treat.
Sure. But you know what I'm saying, though.
Different, but I get the point.
You know what I'm saying, though.
I'm sure Chappelle is boning his version of that.
He married. No, Chappelle. Speaking of famous comics, though, there is an interesting happening. Chris Rock is doing a big live night this weekend. It's actually going to be live streaming on Netflix. This is an interesting idea that I think probably is pretty good. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I think it's an awesome idea.
Netflix is live streaming a whole night at the Comedy Store. Dion Cole is involved. Leslie Jones is involved. They're doing the pre-show. I'm posting that up there so you guys can see that. There's going to be a pre-game show basically that's live on Netflix, and then Chris Rock is doing his new live special on Netflix, and then there's going to be a post-show I think with David Spade and somebody else up there, and that's going to be amazing too. So they're live streaming from the Comedy Store.
That's super dope. That's super dope.
That's a new setup.
And I love Chris Rock when he's around David Spade, because all he does is just shit on David Spade all the time, and it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't wait to see. Wait to see what that turns out to. And you know what? I used to because Chris Rock shits on David Spade all the time, so I used to shit on David Spade. But David Spade has game, man. He has game. His.
Oh yeah.
He is not coasted on shit. That motherfucker is quick and funny as fuck.
He's a worker, man.
Yeah,
guy's a worker and he's funny. And he is. I mean, there's Chris Rock is fuck with him, but Chris Rock also there's respect there for sure, right?
For sure. Yeah, I'm saying I should have preempted that and said before I got into comedy and I saw him doing that, it shaped a vision of what I thought of David Spade before seeing him as a comedian. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's going to be an amazing night of live comedy. I hope people get a chance to see that because I think that is really part of a future that comedy is all about. And speaking about the future of comedy, I want to talk about this local boy making good. Curtis Shaw Flagg, GM of the Laugh Factory, is now a manager with Artist First Management Company. Taking on some management duties for comedy for comics. I think hopefully locally and around the country. So shout out to Curtis Shaw Flagg. That's an amazing achievement.
Curtis Shaw Flagg,
love
shout outs.
We're gonna get that right at some point. All right, that pretty much wraps it up for us after that bit of news. XL, you somewhere this weekend again? Give us a lineup of where you're at.
Yeah. I'm at Lincoln Lodge, Ronnie Ray's show, 6 p.m. Sunday. 6 p.m. Sunday, Lincoln Lodge on Milwaukee and Chicago, and then Tuesday night, I'm at B Kitchen, 9 o'clock, Chicago Underground Comedy.
Nice. Where can they find you? Big name behind you?
XL Comedy Show on IG or Xavier Lamont on Facebook.
And Rob, you're at Laugh Factory tonight?
I'm at the Laugh Factory tonight. The same Toby Jones tour. If you get the opportunity, make a remix, do a dance, sing that song till you can't sing it no more. Make your throat bleed. Sing, and sing some more. And the reason I'm so enthusiastic about your singing is that I own the song. So now, every time you say it, I get a couple pennies. So let's get on there and give it that college try. Sing it with me now. Jones barbecue and Jones barbecue and better come down here and get some of this.
Some of this shit.
Real quick, all jokes aside, we have done this thing called the Rhythmic Remix Contest. And it will be launching around the third week of March. I give you the opportunity to make your own remix version of the song and get back with me and send it to me, and I will feature it on my channel on all of my social media platforms.
That sounds great. So get over to the SaveTobyJonesTour.com and check that out. You can find me at Mocha_Jesus. Again, I'll be at Marcos Lara's show on the 8th. I've got my dates that you can find at Mocha_Jesus on Instagram, as well as the next Sneaky Links comedy show and other advances we have going on with the State and Madison Entertainment. Make sure you check out New OG's Pod to find this episode and all things coming after that. It's been another great week. Thank you guys for listening so much. We are up out of here.
March 14th. Steak and blowjob.
About getting cheddar indeed. While I'm mozzarella, palmas on cheese. Say you ballin', but not in my league. Say you ballin', but not in my league. Yeah, whole lot of niggas changed since we came up. They could try to steal the moves, but they ain't us. Think you gang, but nigga, you a stranger. Bitches wanna fuck, but nigga, you can't blame us. Whole lot of niggas changed since we